All right, good afternoon and welcome everyone to our annual New Tools for School Spring webinar. Thank you so much for being here and spending time with us. My name is Rachel O'Donnell and I am the Program Director for the Massachusetts Safe Routes to School program. And I just want to cover a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be available shortly on the Safe Routes to School website. Please keep yourself muted until our Q&A section. Live transcript is available for this meeting, which can be turned on with your Zoom controls. And if you are able to, we would actually recommend that you rename yourself and add what school or municipality that you're representing today, so we know who's joining us. And Leon, our operations manager, is available to help with any tech questions, and he will be adding resources periodically in the chat. But before we get into today's presentations, we would be remiss if we didn't highlight our wonderful team of talented outreach coordinators. They are all joining us today, so please reach out in the chat if you have any questions for your coordinator. For today's webinar, we will cover the resources we developed during the school year and provide links to find them on our website. So now I'm going to ask Leon to actually upload a PDF of this presentation into the chat right now so you can reference it later in the webinar. All the hyperlinks are active in that PDF. As we've mentioned in the past, equity is that sixth E and the umbrella under which all the other E's operate. So you will notice that we don't have a specific section dedicated to equity because we have strived to incorporate it into all the other E's. Over the course of the school year, we were working very, very hard behind the scenes to make our website easier to navigate and connect folks with the resources they were looking for. That meant creating new subpages dedicated to specific topics such as pedestrian and bike safety resources, walk and roll support and solutions, and all of our crossing guard materials. Our homepage got a little makeover, and now you can see and view the different topics and subpages for each E instead of having to actually navigate to the page first. We are also excited about our new outreach coordinator page, so you can search for your municipality and it will match you with your outreach coordinator. And through that page, you can connect directly with them and start a conversation or make a request. Again, all of this was done to make it easier to get involved or stay involved in the Safe Routes to School program. And without further ado, I'd like to turn things over to Judy, who will talk about our education resources. Judy.
Thank you, Rachel. Next, please. So no matter how your student gets to and from school, safety is our priority. Annually, the program adds a driver-focused backpack flyer to our growing resource library as a way of providing education for all modes of student transportation. This year's tip sheet highlights being safe around buses, both school and municipal. Being a bus-friendly driver includes understanding the laws around school bus using their flashing school lights, safety guidelines for sharing the roads with all buses, school bus safety distinctions from other vehicles on the road and from municipal buses, and how to best avoid the danger zone found around all large commercial vehicles. Rules of the road apply to everyone. To share this message, all driver education flyers are available in 10 languages. A student favorite for incentives used to celebrate our flagship events and to reinforce our classroom pedestrian instruction are our educational bookmarks. This year, we refreshed our pedestrian safety item with updated artwork to better showcase the best practices on how to safely use sidewalks and crosswalks. And we made them interactive with coloring options on one side. While we are excited to share our newest student take-home product, these will be available on a limited supply until we have emptied our inventory of the older version. You have seen this year's amazing program by numbers infographic, but what are the details behind these astounding numbers? What, where, and how has the program grown in scope and level of participation? As one measure of transparency for this publicly funded program, and to successfully share the work of our terrific team and enthusiastic school and alliance partners, the Massachusetts Safe Routes to School program publishes an annual report. This document is found on the program website and provides the intricacies of the work of our outreach coordinators, administrators, schools, school districts, and the myriad of alliance partners from across the state. We encourage you to read about our Safe Routes to School success stories so that we can all learn from our collective challenges and collaborative solutions. The Safe Routes program annually offers a webinar dedicated to one of our program's foundational E's, that of engineering. Remember that Safe Routes to School is not a stay in your lane program. We call it the webinar for municipalities, for that's where the stakeholders found. This year, the intricacies of what is needed to support an inclusive society for our built environment involves language, physical, and digital access, was presented by 3 experts in the field. The speakers touched on the societal and legislative history and the best practices for standards and guidelines used across our communities to create the same opportunities and benefits for all residents. Physical access for those with physical or mental impairments included a well-rounded discussion on compliance with the American with Disabilities Act, its current scope of now including streets, sidewalks, and pedestrian facilities, and its evolution to universal design. Language access for those needing translational educational services dove into the what, who, when, how, where, and whys, along with common misconceptions, language selection, receiving support from bilingual employees, AI tools, and how to best maintain accuracy and awareness in providing these services. And finally, digital access reviewed the components of what equitable information for all looks like, including which communication components that need to be designed to be accessible, regulations, and the tools and approaches commonly used to achieve this goal. Everything from color to font to using a PD accessibility checker. All speakers provided reference agencies where municipalities could also find technical assistance. Like all of the Safe Routes to School webinars, the recording's available on our website. Professional development is a common requirement across many career-related disciplines. In public school education, the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, or DESE, requires all educators to fulfill high-quality continuing education credits to maintain their state licensure. To that end, the Massachusetts Safe Routes team proudly offers DESE-accredited health and wellness professional development for our pedestrian and bicycle curriculum. This 10-hour course consists of 4 in-person and self-paced learning modules. It can be taken as a whole or in parts, based on your personal, your school, or your school district's need. Adoption of our DESE-approved health and wellness curriculum allows for a more equitable and sustainable lesson model across the school district. Participating in this professional development offering improves equity in that all schools across the district for that grade level will be able to offer the same educational programming, not just for those schools that raise their hand to request our services. It also makes this important life skill curriculum more sustainable by having the district adopt it on its own. This webinar provided an overview of the skills-based education needed to encourage student independence, increase physical activity, improve student safety, and help contribute to lowering absenteeism. It is available for viewing on our website. The Massachusetts Safe Routes to School has been growing and improving its deep toolbox of comprehensive program offerings since 2005. Our one-stop program guide is the resource that summarizes who we are and what we do. Whether you're interested in learning about our foundational 6 E's, are requesting outreach coordinator services, or are looking for ways to expand your local program, the references found in the guide will help you maximize your Safe Routes to School partnership. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Bonnie, who will speak on the new resources related to encouragement and engagement.
Thanks, Judy. Each year during the Safe Street Smart Trip video contest, high school students from around the Commonwealth use their talents and skills to promote roadway safety across all modes of transportation. In 2023, the 10th year of the contest, the theme was highlighting the new Massachusetts vulnerable user laws. The winner of the freshman-sophomore category was Newton North High School with the video 4 Feet, and the winner in the junior-senior category was Barnstable High School with the video Vulnerable Users. This hasn't been formally announced yet, so you're getting a sneak peek. Next year's theme will be all about empathy on the roadway. Now we'll show each of the winning videos. Here's Newton North High School's video 4 feet.
4 feet. 4 feet. Yeah! This is not 4 feet? 4 feet. So vulnerable users are defined as people walking, biking, people in a wheelchair, any micro mobility devices, roadside workers, horse-drawn carriages, and even farm equipment. We've got to make sure that we give them 4 feet when we have.
This is the coolest class at school!
Hey, thanks a lot. I'm glad you're excited about driver's ed.
4 feet, right? Yeah, 4 feet's cool now.
4 feet is very cool, but you know, you can't just be busting into our class. Why are you so excited about this?
Look down, my friend.
Oh, I see.
And here's Barnstable High School's video, Vulnerable Users.
Hi, I'm Officer Jane. That was an illegal pass that could have caused a really bad crash. To prevent this, the minimum passing distance is 4 feet. Vulnerable users include bikers, walkers, people in wheelchairs, etc. Roads are meant to be safely shared by drivers and vulnerable users. For visibility purposes, bikers have to have a red light in the back of their bike as well as a white light in the front at night. Let's take it back to the start.
Safe Routes to School continues to expand its services and programming for high schools. This year, we conducted high school focus groups to gain insights from students on messaging and programming appeal. Students from 7 schools across Massachusetts participated. The findings have led to refining high school programming, the customization of campaigns to address specific student challenges and needs, and increasing student involvement in the creation and execution of marketing campaigns. Debuting this spring, we will offer new high school activities, resources, and a new marketing campaign for high school students to encourage walking, biking, and rolling. This will be found on the Safe Routes to School website on the encouragement page in the high school activities and resources section. And now I'd like to introduce Colleen to talk about our annual yard sign design contest, crossing guard resources, and case studies.
Thank you, Bonnie. So Safe Routes to School just wrapped up our 8th annual yard sign design contest with this year's theme of bus stop safety. Each year, students in grades 2 through 8 from any of our partner schools are welcome to participate in the yard sign contest by submitting a design that is focused on a particular safety theme that we announce each year. Signs can be hand-drawn or created digitally, and the 4 winning submissions are printed on yard signs and distributed to the partner schools. This contest is a really great way to include our student voices in conversations of safe roads for cyclists and pedestrians. And in an effort to reach more community members, we highly encourage multilingual design submissions. And you can see we have our winning entries for the 2024 contest. So following our yard sign contest in January and February, Safe Routes to School also hosts an annual Crossing Guard of the Year campaign in the month of March. So students, school staff, and members of the municipality are encouraged to submit nominations highlighting the ways in which their crossing guards go above and beyond to enforce safety and foster a sense of community. The selected winners are invited to attend and receive recognition at the annual Safe Routes to School Awards ceremony, which is scheduled for this upcoming Thursday, June 6th, 2024. In addition to the annual contests that we have, Safe Routes to School works really hard to increase program participation for all schools, despite any geographical or infrastructural barriers. So currently, the Safe Routes to School program is publishing 2 variations of case studies to highlight success stories from municipal partners. The first of our case studies feature 4 schools in more rural areas of Massachusetts, and they demonstrate how communities can still participate in the program despite whether students are physically able to walk to and from school. You can find the Sturbridge case study next to the on-campus activity guide, and the other 3 are located under the Park Walk and Roll document. All of these resources can be found under the Walk and Roll Support Solutions subpage under the Encouragement subpage of our website. Our second case study features 3 communities who have successfully implemented bike trains, or otherwise known as bike buses, as a way for students to commute to and from school. The purpose of this publishing is to inspire other school partners to consider launching similar programs to engage students in biking as a form of transportation. You can find these case studies also on the Walk and Roll Support Solutions subpage, but these ones are found under the Walking School Bus Bike Train section. And I now want to turn things over to Vivian, who's going to share a little bit more information on our flagship Walk, Bike, Roll to School events, as well as ways to stay connected to our Safe Routes to School community. Vivian?
Thanks a lot, Colleen. In 8 days, students and families from over 250 of our partner schools will be walking, biking, or rolling to school for our last flagship day of the year. School leaders register their campus, request swag to share with students, and celebrate that day. After hearing from principals, we created these flyers to promote the event with their families. The flyers are available for each flagship day in English, Haitian Creole, Portuguese, and Spanish. For the last few months, my colleague Bonnie and I have been gathering information to put together a directory of resources related to biking from across the state. The information presented here is only a sample of what the finished product will look like. We're looking for a variety of resources, from learn to ride lessons, places where you can learn how to fix your bike, paths or trails that are family friendly, and of course, our bike shops. I've included a listing that not everyone may be familiar with. It's the library of things. Just like borrowing a book, you can check out a pump, a set of tools, and a chain cleaner to do your ABC check and get your bike ready to ride. Some libraries have an inventory that includes gardening tools, hotspots, and board games. I want to give a special shout out to the groups with an asterisk after their name. In addition to partnering with schools, we depend on our alliance partners across the state to promote and participate in Safe Routes to School events. Now, this is where we need your help. Let your OC or me know if there's a group, community bike repair space, and the question I'm asked the most, a place that donates bikes to kids, to add to this list. The plan is to have the list by region on our website in the next few weeks. While we know that our team is amazing and works to answer all of your questions, we invite you to webinars like this one, but did you know there are 96 other people across the state who you can ask for ideas on how to get more kids walking to school in February? In July, we created a listserv for school, municipal, and community partners to have a space to ask each other questions, share their celebration, or run an idea by other Safe Routes to School cheerleaders in Massachusetts. This slide shows examples of posts on the listserv. Now, did you hear me say that we have 96 of you signed up on the listserv? Let's get that number to 100 during the webinar. Leon is going to drop the link in the chat now to sign up. So let's see if we can get that up to 100 before we're done. And then the last thing I'm going to be featuring is the break room poster. When my colleagues and I visit a school, our interactions start and end in the front office. Before heading out, I often ask if there's a quiet space for me to check my email. It's often the teacher's lounge where, depending on the time of the day, it can be really busy. I usually introduce myself and discover that many teachers and staff aren't necessarily familiar with Safe Routes to School. So I suggested we create something to place in the teacher's lounge or shared spaces to promote Safe Routes to School. The posters are here and we've started sending them out to our partner schools. So let us know if you want one or two. And now I would like to pass it back to Rachel, who will talk about our 2 grants.
Fabulous. Thank you, Vivian. This was actually the first year that we launched both our Signs and Lines grant and infrastructure grant at the same time. So we held a joint webinar that discussed project eligibility and the application process for both grants. Even though the application period has long passed this year, it's a great time to review the application requirements in advance of the next round so that you can start gathering those required components. More information about both grants can be found on the engineering page of our Safe Routes to School website. In addition to the webinar, the application guidance documents for both grants are also available for each year's grant round. The requirements do slightly change from year to year, so it's always a good idea to review the latest. And if you do subscribe to our newsletter, you will be the first to know when those guidance documents are out. Leon, can you please put the link to subscribe to our e-blasts and newsletters in the chat? I also want to highlight that one big change for this year's Signs and Lines grant was that we increased funding from $6,000 to $10,000. The Signs and Lines is our low-cost, quick-build grant program. Projects need to be within a half a mile of a school that is also a Safe Routes to School partner, and it has been a partner for at least 6 months. These projects are awarded and completed within 1 school year, so that's why they are called quick-build. We do have a list of completed projects on the engineering page of our website, and the recipients of this year's grant will be added to that list once they have their projects completed. The winning municipalities of this year's Signs and Lines grant are Barnstable, Haverhill, Marblehead, New Bedford, and Worcester. The image on the slide is an example of a plan set delivered to one of the municipalities after our site visits. It shows refreshing crosswalks with reflective thermoplastic paint and signage, new school zone signage, and painted buffers along the sides of the road to narrow it, which is an effort to reduce speed around the school campus. Our infrastructure projects are much, much larger in scope and scale, awarding up to $2 million for improvements within 2 miles of a partner school. What's great is that high schools are now eligible to apply for these grants as long as they have been a partner for at least 6 months as of the grant launch date. Project examples include shared use paths and traffic calming treatments. And the following 5 municipalities were awarded infrastructure grants this year: Barnstable, Clarksburg, Everett, Lowell, and Middleborough. This year, the municipalities were given a report and a draft recommendation plan, and then MassDOT will also use these documents to take the projects to completion over the next 4 to 5 years. We are proud to have a wide variety of communities represented from all over the Commonwealth this year, with almost all of the grants being awarded to environmental justice communities. And now I'd like to actually turn things over to Diane, who will talk about some new and exciting engineering opportunities for Safe Routes.
Thanks, Rachel. Last year, we launched our technical assistance program that opened 6 weeks in advance of the grants. We realized that in order to be successful and really support our Safe Routes to school partners and municipalities, we should have it open all year round. So we're pleased to present 2 new tools in this effort. The first is an online request form to receive technical assistance. So when you go to the engineering section of our website, the first thing that you'll see is our technical assistance link. The online form asks a few simple questions and lets you select from 4 different types of assistance. Once you submit the form, we'll set up an intake call with you and review your request for further support. In addition, we created an FAQ sheet for both the Signs and Lines and infrastructure grants. Based on the last few years' applications, we noticed a lot of common questions and issues coming up in the process. So we've pulled together an easy to read FAQ sheet that I'm going to have Leon pop in the chat. Leon, could you please paste that link? Thank you. We piloted a bike rack grant program with 3 schools this year. Those racks are actually being delivered this week. I think we saw some pictures from some today, and we can't wait to share photos on social media. We worked with the bike rack company Dero to help us pick out the perfect rack for elementary, middle, and high schools. They were recommended to us by our partner MassBike. These racks are heavy duty, can be placed standalone on any surface, or can also be bolted to asphalt or concrete. They're shipped on a pallet and can be delivered to a school regardless if the school has a loading dock. So we really wanted to keep all of that into consideration when we were picking our racks. Assembly is simple, just a few bolts to attach the racks to the rails. And we also love that the schools can pick from a variety of colors to match their school colors. In addition, we partnered with Kryptonite with their US headquarters in Canton, Mass, if you didn't know, and they help provide some sturdy bike locks and rechargeable USB lights for each school receiving a rack. And lastly, through our ongoing partnership with Breakstone, White, and Gluck's Project Kids Safe, we're ensuring that kids who need helmets have them or have access to them. We are excited to officially launch this grant next school year, so keep on the lookout for the formal grant program. And this year, we also worked with Discover Traffic Gardens to explore piloting a traffic garden grant in the coming years. This is actually a continuation of work we started in 2018, 2019, right before COVID. We then conducted a series of surveys, interviews, and sessions to educate our schools and municipalities on traffic gardens. You can see here in the middle is a rendering of a traffic garden for the city of Lowell. Some of you may know that these are very popular in Europe and are used to educate elementary school students on how to navigate the roadways as a pedestrian or a bicyclist. In the upper right is a photo of our traffic garden session at last year's MassDOT Moving Together conference. These sessions garnered a lot of great questions and interest in the overall concept of traffic gardens. And if you don't know what one is, you can definitely Google it and you'll see some really great examples from the US and from around the world. We are excited to move forward in the next school year with piloting some concepts and programs to support our schools and municipalities in these efforts. And now I'd like to pass the presentation to Sarah, who will review the evaluation resources for this school year.
Thanks, Diane. This was the 5th year of the partner survey. In the first year, we ran the survey in the winter from December to February. We rely heavily on your feedback from the partner survey to guide our program moving forward. The survey was open to all contacts in our school, partner, and stakeholder mailing lists, and respondents were entered into a raffle to win an Amazon gift card or some cool Safe Routes to School prize packs for their schools. We had 69 responses from 50 different communities, with the overall objectives being: 1, understanding how schools are using the Safe Routes to School program and what our partners' perceptions of the program are. 2, to assess the value of the specific content, resources, and materials that we provide. 3, identify any changes in behavior associated with the program, like improved safety and increased walking and biking. And 4, and assessing interest in future programs and services that we could offer. And I'll just give a quick shout out and congratulations to the Silvio Oconti Community School in Pittsfield, the Mario Umana Academy in Boston, the Roberts Elementary School in Medford, and the Sheffield Elementary School in Turner Falls, along with the Melrose and Shrewsbury school districts, for being the winners of our Amazon gift cards and prize packs this year. On this slide, we have a high-level overview of the results from the partner survey. As you can see in the top pie graph, we had a variety of school and school-adjacent folks fill out the survey, with top respondents from local school staff and school district staff, along with local volunteers. Of those who filled out our survey, 94% were satisfied or very satisfied with support they received from their Safe Routes to School outreach coordinator. You know, as an outreach coordinator, I love to hear that. I'll also add another statistic not pictured here, but nearly 90% of respondents said their preferred method of communication was via email from their outreach coordinator. Once again, as an outreach coordinator, love to hear that. It feels really good knowing you all look to us as a valuable resource for your communities. Other findings from this survey include data indicating participation in the Safe Routes to School program increases walking, biking, and rolling at school, and the respective safety of those activities. Based on our data, 70% of respondents that receive Safe Routes to School assistance of any kind report that the program has led to an increase in walking, biking, and rolling trips, compared to 30% of schools that did not participate. Also, as seen in the far right graph, 80% of respondents that receive Safe Routes to School assistance of any kind report that the program made it safer for students to walk, bike, and roll to school, compared to 20% of schools that did not receive assistance. Transitioning to our other evaluation resources, we've also been excited to officially launch the new and improved family travel survey this school year. We've updated the survey to include an option for high school students driving to and from school, as seen in the front image with the student button selected. We've also made the survey, just as of last week, mobile friendly.
The mobile-friendly version will allow families easier access to the website and eliminate any potential participation barriers on that front. Overall, the survey still looks at how students get to and from school and is still offered in 9 different languages pictured in the top right image. At this point in the school year, we've had 24 schools administer a family travel survey, which has equated to nearly 2,500 responses, with more surveys slated for the last month or so of the school year. It is also never too late to reach out to your outreach coordinator and schedule one of these surveys to be administered. And as a friendly reminder, schools with a participation rate greater than 50% will receive a prize pack worth over $250. And with that, I'd like to open up for a Q&A, and Maggie will lead this portion and then close this out.
Thank you, Sarah. So if anyone has any questions, this is the time. You can either type them in chat or raise your hand and come off mute.
Hi guys, thank you so much for doing this today. This is Sarah from Marshfield. I'm a principal in an elementary school. I was hoping today to get some more information about starting a walking school bus. Can you guys point me into the right direction of, where I would go to find that information on how to start that?
Sure, Sarah. On our website, I'll put the link in the chat after I'm done talking, but I'll send you the section all about walking school buses. We do have a guide, and so I think it is helpful, sort of like the getting started. But also, so Marshfield, is that Colleen? Oh, yeah, so you can connect with Colleen too, and she can kind of give you some background of different communities who have launched walking school buses, just to kind of give you as many pieces of information that you need.
I was also going to say, Rachel, we have some case studies too on walking school buses, right?
So, those are under the walking school bus section that I'm going to put in the chat.
Yeah. And the guide that Rachel was talking about, sorry, I can share my video. The guide that Rachel's talking about too has, I think it's like 20 plus pages. It's got like sample permission forms and all that kind of stuff. So between you and Colleen, you should be able to pull together, a great effort for that.
All right, I just put it in the chat, Sarah.
And I think we have a question from Susan. Susan, if you want to come off mute.
Sure, thank you. Thanks for all the information and resources. I was wondering if there's any resources to get signs at schools, lawn signs. I know it sounded like if a school wins the design contest, then they could get some of those printed for the school. But if you're having maybe issues outside of whatever the particular theme is, maybe it's idling or something else, are there any resources for those signs?
Yeah, so Susan, well, I'll put in the chat just our gallery of the different like pass winning signs, and whatever we still have in inventory. I think we definitely have some no idling signs still in inventory. We can have Sarah drop those off. We'll just have to check and see which ones we have still available.
I think we reordered the anti-idling signs because they were so popular, but we have every topic you can think of. And if there's a new one that we haven't thought of, let us know, because we'll make it the yard sign contest theme for the following year. So great question, Susan. So say, don't be shy. Don't leave us hanging. We're not going to bite. Maggie, do you want to go on to maybe the next slide where we talk about some upcoming events, and then if anyone thinks of some, do I see no? Oh, Susan's hand is still raised. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else who's got a question. Okay, let me go on to the next slide. Okay.
So this is just a reminder that the Safe Routes to School program operates year-round. During the summer, we are working with schools and districts to help with active transportation planning, professional development sessions, updating arrival and dismissal procedures, and conducting summer bike and ped safety sessions at summer programs. So please don't forget to keep in touch with your outreach coordinator and schedule a planning meeting to discuss back to school transportation. We'll also be publishing a new events calendar for the upcoming school year as well. However, we still have a few events before the school year ends. Next Wednesday, May 1st, is our last flagship day of the year. Make sure to put any last-minute orders for our stickers and bookmarks in today. As always, you can participate any day in the month of May. And lastly, mark your calendars for our final event of the year, our annual Safe Routes to School Awards ceremony, which will be in person at the State House in Boston, starting at 10:30 a.m. and going until 12:30 p.m. We will have a continental breakfast, and you'll be able to pick up your school certificate while celebrating this year's standout award winners. Make sure you're registered for both events by going under our website and looking at upcoming events at the top of the homepage. Leon, could you please paste the Eventbrite link to register for our award ceremony? Yeah. So thanks, Leon, and thank you to everyone for attending.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
Thank you.